okay? So if you have a job that doesn't excite you, and believe me, I've had plenty of those jobs in my rich history before I wrote the 48 Laws, so I understand that feeling. You have a job that doesn't connect you, that you don't like, it's very difficult to stay motivated in that circumstance, and I understand. So the thing that you have to do in those situations is you have to find something to be excited about. You have to find something that you can learn about the situation. And I talk about this in other interviews in some of my books. Even the most boring, mindless job, there's going to be something that you can learn about yourself or about people. If you're working in a restaurant and you have to serve people, you can learn about their psychology. You can learn about things that you don't like about people. You can learn about yourself and things that you don't like about yourself. When you're excited by something, a subject, you learn it at a very high rate. When you're not excited, it takes you much longer to learn something. So find something that excites you inside, that you love to read. It has nothing to do with your job, right? It could be ancient history, it could be badminton, it could be fashion, I don't care. It excites you, but it has nothing to do with your job. Spend your spare time going into that, and then when you're at work, you can start thinking about it, and you can bring books along with you if you have the ability to do that. I remember I worked in Paris. Okay, you're in Paris, you go, wow, Robert, how can you be not motivated when you're there? Well, I had a really boring job. I was working at a telephone answering service, the very first one in Paris, there to translate messages. Nobody called. I was there for 8 hours a day and had nothing to do. I decided that I was going to read the 7 volumes of Marcel Proust's Remembrance of Things Past, À la recherche du temps perdu. I was going to fill it with reading something that really excited me. Of course, no one was supervising me, so I had that ability. Find something that excites you, because that's what motivates you. The best thing to do is to find a career that excites you, in which everything will motivate you. You need to learn more, and you need to get better and better and better because you love it. So love and excitement and energy are all parts of motivation. And you're not going to be motivated if you don't like what you're doing. So you have to find something in that job or whatever it is that does genuinely excite you, and that will motivate you.
It's easy to be lazy if you don't have any emotional connection to what you're involved in. I give the example that I have personally is when I lived in France, I had spent years learning French in the university, but it never really sunk in because I wasn't paying deep attention to it. It didn't mean so much to me. But there I was in Paris, I had to struggle, I had to survive, I had to get a job, I had to get a girlfriend. And suddenly, because I had to do it, because it was important to me, because it was necessary, because it was what I call death ground, either learn French or get the hell out, you're not going to be able to survive. I learned I wasn't lazy. So your laziness is something that has to do with you. You're not connected to something deep enough. You don't feel the necessity. You don't feel the devil at your heels. You don't feel the fact that you could very well die tomorrow that will impel you to get something done. There's no necessity behind it. And the human animal, the way we were created, is when we feel pressure, we feel the necessity to get things done. We can move mountains, and we have plenty of examples of that in history. But when that pressure, almost like a barometric pressure, releases, and we don't feel the need to get something done, we can become incredibly lazy because there's no necessity. So you have to create necessity in your life. You have to create the need to get things done. You have to give yourself deadlines. You have to remind yourself that tomorrow everything could go kaput. COVID could come back. You could be fired. You could die. You could have an illness. Give yourselves a sense of urgency that I need to get things done quickly. And then when it comes to making decisions, a lot of time what afflicts people is this idea of, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to start my own business. I'm not ready to quit this job. I'm not ready to break up with my relationship, which is toxic or whatever. Give me another few months. I've got to prepare myself. I want you to get this idea that you are ready, that you have to try and do things before you think you are ready, right? If you think, well, I'm not prepared to start this business. I need to go back to business school. I need to learn more and more. Shut up and do it. Just jump in the water. You will learn more by starting before you think you are ready. By making that decision, your brain will kick into action. You will discover all this energy that you had that you didn't think you had. So make the decision before you think you're ready is the other thing.